Okay, today I'm here with my very good friend, Errie, okay? Going to move on and I want to talk about these amazing villas that you've built. So Errie we're sitting in one of her amazing villas. This is the latest villa that she's just built here in Bali. So I want to learn more about that. So you've built 5 villas here. Can you walk us through how that started and how did you even think to do that and why, you know? Because it's hard to own in Bali. Can you explain that a bit?
It is hard to own. I do have a bit of a background in understanding law and reading legal documents, so that
helps. That definitely helps.
Definitely, I started doing the research during COVID because there wasn't much to do, and it was tricky. There's a lot of tricky things, and there's a lot of things you have to be smart about and understand. You can't just go jump in and think everything's going to work, because it doesn't.
No, and I've learned that.
And there's a lot of things that you learn along the way. I mean, after 5 villas, I've learned so much from the first villa to this villa and all the mistakes along the way. But I've built relationships with all the suppliers and
the builders, the suppliers.
Yeah. But I think the most important thing is to go to somebody that knows what they're doing and not think that you can do it all by yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
I totally agree with that.
I found obviously somebody that was in the game, and I just made friends with them. I asked a lot of questions, and then when they told me things, I studied it. And yes, I also made mistakes and didn't understand everything, but I think I was fairly lucky that in COVID there was a lot of good deals going around.
Yes.
Many good deals because the economy was low.
Yes.
The Balinese were desperate.
Yes.
So I found a lot of really good deals. I mean, you can't even get those deals anymore today.
So I think, Errie, you said you built your first villa in Brawa.
Yes.
Which is a really popular area here. It's very close to one of the biggest beach clubs in Bali, one of the most famous beach clubs in Bali, called Fins.
And I had no idea when I
at the time, but it's very close to the beach, isn't it?
So what happened was that I was only looking for somewhere where I wanted to live. I wasn't thinking about Airbnb or renting it out or doing business here. I just thought, you know what, I wouldn't mind having a little place here so I could go back and forwards from Bali to Australia. And I thought I just need somewhere permanent. And I thought, and then maybe I can rent it out if I want to when I'm in Australia.
Yeah.
It was nothing. I didn't have a business plan to stay here long term. And then the first villa that I found was actually half built. And I met the builder, and he wasn't Australian, he was French, and he had a good vibe, but you have to talk about materials, and there's a lot of things you need to understand, which I didn't understand then, but I got lucky that he was a really good builder. He was a builder over in France.
Right, yeah.
So he knew what he was doing.
So that's what I do want to ask you, what you've learned about building in Bali and what you wish you had known earlier, and I think that is in respect with choosing your builders, correct?
100%.
Yeah.
A lot of people go with Balinese builders who do, they still do Balinese style. So they do a lot of open living. They don't understand about our cooking arrangements.
Yeah.
They don't understand about our power voltage, what we would desire, that, you know, we get hot and we need a lot of air conditioners on.
Yeah.
And they don't understand that we might want an oven and a fridge, and a small fridge, a large fridge, a pool, a washing machine, all the things that as a Westerner that you get used to.
Yeah.
They build and think, oh yes, they're just going to have a little cooktop and a fan.
Which most villas do, especially the Balinese villas.
Yeah, and they're great for holidays if you're coming for
Just a
a month or something, and you can say, okay, I can live like that because I'm going to eat out every day. But if you're going to live here permanently, you can't eat out every day, and you do sometimes want to cook, and you want to do your own washing.
And you want to have enclosed living.
Enclosed living because of the mosquitoes.
And most people don't even think of that.
No.
Even when they come here to rent a villa, and I didn't initially either, but we both really dislike open living, don't we? You just get eaten alive by mosquitoes.
So when I was here and renting during COVID for the 4 months, I stayed at 4 different villas.
Right.
Because I wanted to test all the areas, and they were all open living. There was always a lot of mosquito problem. I also noticed there was a lot of termites in everything, and I thought, wow. And so I learned about the termite problem, the ant problem, the open living.
And it makes a difference.
Yeah.
And I think your building degrades faster when it's open.
Totally.
When
Everything gets rotten quickly.
Yeah.
So when I did start looking, I thought, okay, I want something with steel frames, I want something enclosed living, I do want a small pool to cool off, but nothing too majorly big because I didn't understand pools at that stage and how they worked. And so when I was looking for the building, I fell over this one in Bro. I was just really lucky, and he talked about the steel frame, and I thought, wow, that really excites me. And I liked his taste. It wasn't exactly 100% what I would have wanted, but I thought, oh, I can fix this.
Yeah.
I thought I can come in and do a few things, and I can make it, like, I'm all for colour.
Right.
Like, colour's really important to me. Like, I've got to kind of balance my colours and get a feel for it. But the main thing was structural. I looked at it structurally, and I thought, where can this leak? Where did it leak when I lived here for 5 months in all these villas? I had a lot of problems in those villas, and you have to remember it was COVID, so they weren't maintained.
No.
And because they had no maintenance, it was very easy to see where problems
arose. Yeah. Because everything degrades a lot faster.
So fast.
In the Balinese humid, rainy season climate.
The beach, the sea air, everything
does.
And the humidity and the termites and just a lot of insects underground, and also another big thing that they do is they're all selling their rice fields, and they're not waiting for the ground to settle.
Right.
So a lot of foundations were being put down now. Foundations get thrown down and they haven't settled, and people build, and then the houses
are unstable.
They get cracks in the wall, and people are going, wow, this is a brand new villa, I've got cracks everywhere and things are leaking, and that is basically because people are building too fast.
Yes. Yeah.
Or, and I'm not being rude about Balinese builders, but they don't care about cracks. No. They live with cracks.
That's right. There's no quality of standards, and I've talked about quality of standards about living here in Bali and when I renovated my own villa. So Errie's absolutely correct in that respect. There is absolutely no quality of standards or nothing to fall back on, or no government legislation that says
no guarantees
that it has to be like this or it has to be like this. Now, there are some really wonderful builders here in Bali, so don't get us wrong.
There is.
And there is some really also so much building here. So you've got to be careful with respect to even choosing builders, and I don't want to actually...
There's good Balinese and there's good European, but there's bad European and bad Balinese.
That's right.
What you need to do
lots
is
of Russians and have come here and
to make fast money.
To make fast. So you've got to be careful
a lot of people just trying to make a quid, sell you at a higher price and get out. There's no guarantee. You can't go back to anybody and say, hey, you know, even if you rent your place out and the person doesn't pay rent, there is no, I think I'll go to VCAT or I'll go to a lawyer or something. There just isn't that here. If they don't pay you rent, you've either got to think of a way of getting them out and say goodbye to the money, or you look for a good tenant. So
it's learning these things, and I think we've learned that.
Well, I've had bad tenants.
Yes.
I've had bad. I've experienced everything. So. And nothing's been, oh, this is easy, and you know, I've made a lot of money, and oh wow, it's all like a breeze. It's actually hard work, but after all the villas I built, my last project turned out the nicest because I knew what I was doing. And it took a lot of trial and error and tears.
So she had 2 villas in Umalas, one that she had rented out. The first one she had a lot of problems with. This is from me going from memory, but the most recent one that she actually got back and re-renovated it and turned it into something beautiful that she wanted to live in herself. And then what came about was somebody wanted to rent it from her, and Errie got really good money for that. She didn't intend to rent it, is that correct?
I was going to live in it. Like the tenant destroyed it, and I thought,
the first tenant.
And I went in there and I thought, okay, like I'm not going to get upset. I'm just going to redo it and just start again. And I gutted it and redid it. And it was time consuming. It was expensive. It was difficult.
But I think also because you know what you're doing and you have contacts. You were able to do that
100%.
With quality.
If that had happened to me when I first got here, I think I would have probably gone home in tears. But I'd already built 3 villas, and that was the second villa that I rented out that got ruined. I was living in the 3rd villa.
But Errie made the mistake of not taking a bond that first time. Never make that mistake again.
But look, even so, like leases here and that,
you really need to vet your leasing really well.
Oh, 100%.
And have really good security deposit. So long story short, that's what Errie has done just recently. The family came along, wasn't it? Was it a family?
Nice family.
Really nice family, and have just
re-rented it.
Just rented your beautiful one that you decorated that was going to be your home. And that was a very valuable experience project, and she's got a very tight lease where she's able to inspect the property, because that's something else here.
And I put a lot of rules in, like I withheld money for pool cleaning, salt, air conditioning services, hot water services, and I said, okay, I'm putting 5,000 into the kitty, and I'm going to maintain it over the 2 years.
So lease. It's 2 years.
2-year lease, and I said, I'll do it myself. You can pay for it, and I said, but I'll use my trades and make sure it gets done, because a lot of time you put a tenant in and you say, oh, you have to maintain this and that, and they won't maintain it.
They say that they will, but they don't.
And they don't. They don't do a thing. And
because it's your property,
And if it's not maintained here in Bali, the biggest thing, if anybody wants to know anything, maintenance. Just the smallest bit of maintenance, and you keep doing it, and you won't have any major problems. If you let something go here, it just escalates.
And I think what a lot of the folks don't realise about renting in Bali, when you rent in Bali, it's normally for a year, isn't it? Minimum 1 year.
Minimum.
And to rent here in Bali, it's not like Australia, where you pay weekly or fortnightly, or monthly. You pay all your money for the whole year up front, and normally, it depends, depending on your lease agreement, they can have it where you don't have any right to come back and look at your property to a year later. And that was Errie's first mistake. It's also been my mistake with renting here. And that there goes problems with you know,
well,
your
you don't know
maintenance.
what they're doing
No,
for the whole
or how
year.
they're treating.
And if I had my first villa rented for 2 years and they just trashed it.
Yeah.
And when I asked to come in, they just said, no, you have no right.
Which
So-
you don't, because she didn't have it in her lease.
So
knows better now.
And so these are the mistakes that you learn, and if somebody doesn't tell you, you wouldn't know. And the notaries don't tell you, the
No.
real estate agents don't tell you, because they just want their commission or their fee. So they just want you to sign that lease and give them the money, because the agent gets paid 10%, no 5% for leasing a property,
Yeah.
and the notary gets 5% on the lease value as well. So they're all making money. So they don't want to tell you anything. They just want you to, yay, sign and give us our money and see you later. And nobody helps you. Once you sign that lease, their obligation is gone. It's not like in Australia where you go back to your, you know, to your agent and
you've
say
got
like,
recourse,
like what's my tenant doing? Like once it's been leased for that year, it belongs virtually to the person that's rented it.
And they can do anything to it. Here in Bali, there is no stipulation about banging a hole in the wall.
No.
They can do anything.
They can even they can gut it. And
If they wanted to,
you couldn't even argue with who do you go to. There's no
body,
authorities, no bodies to go to.
Yeah.
So finding
totally
a
different renting here.
finding a good tenant is really, really. I was never going to do it again after my first experience, but I've been, I always say, if you fall down, get up and try again.
It's older and wiser. Yeah.
And I was so smarter with my second tenant.
Yeah, you were, absolutely.
The lease, how I worded it, what I wanted, money that I kept. I did all of research on them, the jobs, where the child went to school, everything.
Yeah. So I think that really helps.
It did. And so then I came here. I decided I'd then build one more project since they wanted my home.
Yeah. So here she is here.
So here I am on my 5th.
Yeah. Right. Which villa are you most proud of and why out of these?
Oh, definitely this one.
This one?
Yeah. This one because I finally learned where I could get all the right furnishings.
Right.
Furnishings is really hard to get right here in Bali. It's not like in Australia where you can walk in and I'll have this and this. You have to go to hundreds of places to get.
Stockists are difficult here.
Very. You might just find one pot in one place, one table in another, one lounge suite, one cushion. It's not all in like one place.
No.
If you go to the one place, you can be guaranteed that they've done all the hard work and they're going to charge you a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's going to be triple the price.
Yeah.
So if you're willing to do the lead work and find all your own little suppliers, and I have a list of 100, and I can go to all of them and say, yes, I know I can get that pot here, I can get that cushion there at this price, I can get this doona made, I can get the sheets made. It all makes a difference, because the doonas here, if you try to get one for your bed, they're going to say, oh, it's $100 or 100K, 1 million.
Right, yeah.
Indonesian, and you can get it made for actually 20K.
Wow.
200K, sorry.
200K, which is $20.
Yeah.
$20 Australian. So
$20 Australian instead of $100. It's exactly the same.
Yeah.
It's just that the shop has got it made and then put it in their shop. So once you know all those little quirks, you can start doing things a lot cheaper.
Yeah. And I also want to mention, and I will do a little video on this, Errie is incredibly organised. So if you open any one of Errie's cupboards, she has storage and compartments for everything. So she might have downsized a little bit, but this villa, which I think she definitely has, because she had a three-story
villa,
was the villa that she lived in before. So now she's all on one level. She has had to think incredibly smart on where everything goes. And I think that's another thing that you mentioned the other night about your build, is having a place for everything.
Yeah.
And I think us as females, we love a place for everything, don't we? I can't stand it when there isn't.
No, I've thought about everything. Because storage in Bali is something that they don't think about.
Yeah,
they don't understand cupboards, they don't understand wardrobes, because they probably only own 2 dresses and a pair of shorts or something, and they think one broom, one dustpan and brush or something, and that's it. So they don't have what we have. And I know that sounds like we're very spoiled, but I have all my family coming over, so I have to have a lot of amenities. So I have actually built according to that I can store everything and still make the place look lovely.
So we will do a video scan around of that. Okay, so is there any tips for women who might be thinking of investing or building here, would you say?
I would say go to people who know what they're doing, talk to people who know what they're doing, ask for help from people who know what you're doing. Don't think I can do it all by myself, because I actually was a bit like that.
Yeah, and I was too, and you learn.
And I thought, I know everything. In Melbourne, I did everything. In Australia, I was good at this because I was. And I thought I could do this.
Yeah, Errie's background is in the building industry in Australia. So she already knew a lot.
And I thought that it would be as simple here. And it's totally different. And I didn't ask anybody too many questions. I just went on my own little way, and I learnt the hard way. And if I'd asked people that lived here a long time, or asked for help, and even if I had paid for somebody to give me good advice, it would have been well worth it, because mistakes are costly here.
Yes,
A mistake can cost you a lot of money.
Also, I want to mention, if you renovate here or if you build here, I think one of the things, particularly renovate, I don't know about build because I haven't done that, but with building or with renovating, you've got to watch like a hawk. Do you not? Is that the same with you? You've got to continually be checking.
I actually
leave it.
Lived in every place I've built and renovated. I am the cleaner. Basically, I follow them. And I say, no, yes, no, don't drop that, don't put your cigarette there, don't spill your coffee here, don't do this, don't do that.
Because they're really messy.
They're messy, they don't understand, they treat a house inside and outside exactly the same. So if you say, I want that to be spray painted, they will just go out on your front porch and start spray painting. They don't think that your front porch is something that you might
want to keep clean and not have the residue of spray paint.
They'll just do it on a wall, your wall, and they don't think that. It's not that they don't think, they don't understand the concept, and they will just butt their cigarette in your pot plant because they think it's an ashtray. And unless you're there all the time, plus the fact they don't have an eye for height, you say I want a bench, they might build the bench up here or the bench down there. They wouldn't think. They don't understand drawer sizes, they don't understand a lot because they don't have these things in their life. It's all new to them, and it's not because they're horrible or
it's just totally different. Our concept and ideas of things does not translate to Indonesians at all. And like, even when you're having conversations sometimes, if you've ever been to Bali and you've been in a restaurant, just trying to relay what you want.
It's very difficult.
If you want to change your meal slightly, it's easier said than done, isn't it?
And so can you
imagine building? So if you don't watch it, you can come back and something's totally wrong, or put in the wrong place. The sink is put in the wrong place, or So
I would say, I'm going to go have a coffee, and they'd be on a job, and I'd think they couldn't possibly get that wrong, and I'd go away for an hour and come back, and it was wrong. And I'd think, how did they get that wrong? But you just need to be there all the time, so you actually are living and breathing the job.
The build,
for the year. And the renovation, which took me 5 months, was I just lived there in the house, following them around, cleaning. Don't think about getting your nails done or your hair done, because it's not possible. You're just a slave to the job, unless you pay somebody, but then you need somebody who's experienced and understands building, and they will charge you a lot of money.
So,
because only really a foreigner would understand. You'd have to employ a foreigner to
oversee
and that foreigner would charge you a lot of money, so it's best if you can do it yourself. If you just say,
but not everybody can do it themselves.
No, then you can get somebody who's experienced, and if you
like yourself,
and you can say, I'm willing to pay you, and they may not charge you a lot,
because they're just they're doing it for their passion, their interest.
It's a passionate thing.
Which was the next thing, was going to talk about styling and decor, which is very much Errie's passion. About having things just right and perfect, and colour schemes, and decor and everything like that. So you have an eye for design, which is amazing. Have you always had a love for styling?
I think I've always had a love for things being in order.
Right. Well, she's kind of a little bit of a perfectionist there. Like I said, when you open your cupboards or you open any drawer,
and I'm very particular on colours. I can see if anything is slightly not the right colour, which means I can walk into a shop and choose things and take it into the build after it's done. I can buy things way before the job's done, and then everything comes together and everyone says, oh, the colours are perfect, because I have a really good eye for detail in colour. And colour's very important here, and it's not easy to get your colours.
So can you share your approach and what inspires you with this latest villa? Because it is really beautiful. What was it being close to the beach? Did you want to have...
Yes. Well, what inspired me is that every villa I built, there was something wrong that I didn't like, that I did. I'd think, next time I won't do that. So then I did the next one, and then I'd think, next time I won't do that. By the time I got to number 5, I think all the errors that I'd made and all the things that I had envisioned it would look like in the end, I finally got in this villa.
Right, yeah.
All the others, even down to a PowerPoint. That's how detailed things are, because you don't know when you first start that they're going to put in the wrong PowerPoint.
No, you don't.
They're not going to have charges. They're going to do the PowerPoints in the wrong spot. They have no idea. They don't understand that in a kitchen you want maybe 2 or 3 PowerPoints.
Have you got the universal PowerPoints?
Yes, I have.
Oh, nice.
I've got universal right through all.
Have you? So that means they're
American, US, Australian, and Bali.
How amazing! Which is really rare, like most of us have to carry around our what are they called? Converters,
and it doesn't cost any more.
Right.
To get. Maybe the electrician has to be a bit smarter, yes, but if you tell them in the very beginning, I'm going universal, and they're the things that people forget. Yeah. And then they go, I want this universal plug at the end, and the builder will go, well, sorry, all the electrics are done. And we've done it Bali standard only. So there's so many little things that you have to remember, even with water, like having filters, having the right voltage and power. And people just don't know all these things, and I didn't know it either, obviously, but as I've gone along, I've gotten better and better at it.
Wow.
I've got a good eye, and my expertise is I know where to find the things that people want. Like, I want a water fountain. I want a fish pond. I want
And you just go from
Balinese.
kind of a mood board with colours and things like that.
Yeah, I would ask them what colour scheme they wanted, and once I knew I could find it, I know I could do the research and find it. So I could do it for people if they wanted to hire me, but
doing it this way though, instead of doing it through a big company, you could probably get more value for dollar.
Oh, definitely.
Right.
I mean, the big companies have to make money. They have a lot of staff.
And
a lot of real
all
estate
that
agents.
all on the top.
Of course, they've got to pay their agents commission. They have to pay they might have 10, 15 people working. They have like a marketing team,
Yes.
and they have to cover those costs. So nothing is as cheap as if you do it yourself.
Yeah.
The thing is that those companies, they do good work.
They do.
There's no doubt about it. They do good work, but you might
They
pay an
charge you.
extra I keep talking in Australian dollar, $100,000 more, or maybe $80,000 more
Yes.
than if you did it yourself.
Yeah, with the help of someone like Errie. Yeah.
It's cheaper.
Yeah. So I do want to mention another girlfriend of mine, Catherine, who did build here in Bingen, and she went through a big company, and when it come to, because you pay for like your land up front first, when it went to the part of doing her land and she went to the notary, it turned out that the builder had charged her double for the land. And this is just the kind of thing that they do here, unfortunately. She was actually able to get out of the deal directly with the landowner, and paid half price for her land instead of double price, and then get another builder. And she saved herself something like $60,000 by doing that. So yeah.
You can save yourself if you're willing to talk to the right people and ask for good advice, but also understand that all this good advice and time and everything,
To her, just saving the money
of course, on the land
was a big saving, where she had, and you can do this, get your build done with a builder when you're not even here.
Yeah.
So she lives on the Gold Coast in Australia, and she's done her build that way. But yes.
Yeah, you don't have to be here, but it'd be always good to have somebody that's overseeing it, I think.
Yeah.
Just checking that they're doing the right thing.
Yeah, especially, and that's why I think it is worthwhile going with a bigger company if you haven't got somebody who's hands-on and checking it for you.
Oh, 100%.
Like Catherine did.
I wouldn't do it just saying I'm going to go with
a Balinese builder.
and I'm not going to be around or anything, because you will not know what you're getting.
Yeah.
At the end, it could be just trash.
Yeah, because it's even another girlfriend of ours, Michelle and her girlfriend built, and Michelle actually overseen her girlfriend's villa.
Yeah.
Isn't that right?
Yeah.
You need to do that.
Yeah, you've got to have somebody overseeing.
Yeah, overseeing. Yeah.
And she nearly pulled her hair out at the end of it too. But that's part of it. But it gets easier the more you do.
Yes.
It definitely gets easier.
Just back to the styling and decor, what advice do you have for making a space feel luxurious but still warm and personal?
I'm all for warm colours, plants, because
Definitely.
I like my plants. I like wood, a bit of wood, but not too much wood. You've got to be very careful with wood. This is the problem
In Bali.
with
Right.
the termites. So never have wood in your windows, in your doors.
Well, I learned that, yes. I put in wooden by-four doors, and they were just, I regret it, because
They're eaten.
not that.
And they
they
expand.
They expand with the weather. The
They
rain.
do.
Nobody told me.
Yeah, so you've got to make sure that you know where your steel's got to be. You can have wooden furniture, but with wooden furniture, maybe minimal, not a lot, because they do get in everything. Sometimes there's a plague of termites that come
really?
through. Haven't you ever been here when the plague comes through?
No.
They come in a swarm.
Really?
Yeah, and then they get into everything, and they come through your house. They're in and they're out, but on their way they just go into everything, and that's.
I didn't know this. Oh my God.
So they do have swarms here quite often, and that's how they get into everything. And then they'll be
I don't even want to
everywhere.
think about that. Oh dear.
So yeah, wood is not great, but
No.
there is good wood and treated wood, but it's more expensive, and then people go, oh, why am I paying so much for that when I could just buy that, and it looks exactly the same, but it's not. And that's another thing that you learn in Bali, what is good wood and what isn't.
Yeah, makes a big difference. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, in closing, life wisdom. What's been the biggest reward of building and living in Bali, at this stage of life?
It's given me financial freedom.
Yes, yeah.
So that's been great, and also it gave me something to do in Bali, because you can only do so much sitting by the beach and walking your dogs and eating out with friends. You need to have something to
interest.
An interest, got to keep your mind busy. You definitely can't come here and just think, I'm retiring doing nothing. Well, not for me, and I don't think a lot of entrepreneurial women.
Yeah, there's a lot of entrepreneurial spirit here in Bali.
A
lot of creators, which is
creators.
It's very attractive.
Yeah.
We really do like that.
And then to sit around and do nothing, you got to remember, most people come here for a holiday. They want to unwind, they want to eat, they want to drink, but
and being comfortable. So Errie's got 2 Airbnbs, is that correct?
3. Oh, 2 Airbnbs and 1 long-term rental.
And 1 long-term rental, yeah. And your Airbnbs are doing really well.
Yeah.
Great locations.
Yeah. It's all about location.
Yeah, it is.
Location. It's the same as we say in Australia, location. It's the same here. And a lot of the real estates will tell you this is going to boom, that is going to boom. And yeah, it might, but it might be 20 years away.
Yeah. Some of the places far up,
like up at Seshay and Megwin and all that. Yeah, they will boom, but like we're looking at, you're going to be waiting for 20 years, and a lot of people are buying there and then saying, I'm not getting the rentals, I'm not getting the returns, and you're just not going to get it, because people like to be where there's people and where there's shopping, and where there's restaurants, and where there's things to do.
So you are better to keep in your main areas of Bali, which definitely is Seminyak, definitely is Canggu,
Canggu and Uluwatu.
I mean, I'd even say Kuta, that'll be Legian area.
Yeah, they're still not
because
bad.
there's shops there, you can get
a lot of people like it, and it can be cheaper down that way, and some people like it down that way.
Some people don't.
Yeah.
But definitely Sanua.
Yeah, Sanua's
really gone ahead.
But it's gone up a lot too.
And it has gone up a lot.
But Sanua's a wonderful place. A lot of people are retiring in Sanua. There's a lot of people. You could get a lot of cheap beachfront properties there, but it's a bit harder now. But
I think it's changed. Yeah.
But still possible.
Yeah.
Still possible.
Is it? Yeah. And Ubud's also lovely.
Oh yeah, and Ubud's booming too, but the traffic to get up there is horrendous.
And this is something you've got to think about here in Bali, is the traffic.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
any advice for women over 50 who are thinking of making the bold move, like you and I have, to come live in a country like Indonesia?
Well, first of all, I think you have to appreciate simple.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
If you're big shopping centres and theatres and a lot of, cause you know, going to theatre and all that sort of thing.
We don't have that here.
No, there's not.
We've got smaller shopping centres.
There isn't a lot of major things to do. So you've got to have a good friendship group.
Yep.
You've got to have something that occupies your mind besides just Bali, I think.
Interest,
Interest. You've got to come here with not the mindset, I'm going to sit here and do nothing, because I think sitting here and doing nothing, you want to leave.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be.
I think it's a great place for creatives.
Yeah.
Somebody who wants to write.
Yeah.
Or
paint.
Yeah. Or do some sort of creative thing.
Yeah.
Styling.
But not too much work. It's also, it's where you can say, okay, today I'm doing nothing. Today I'm going to sit by the beach. Today I'm walking the dogs. Today I'm doing nothing. And you might do that for 3 days, but you can't do it forever.
Yeah.
So you've got to be balanced, and I think for me, I'm very blessed that my family can come over, and that also I can go to Australia. So I think for Australians, it's actually very much more. I think easier.
It is.
for them,
But in
somebody
saying
in
that-
the US or UK, because their families don't visit as much.
I know, but in saying that, we have a couple of really good girlfriends,
Mm-hmm.
and one of them is from the UK,
Yeah.
the one that actually organised the over 40s expat group. Yeah, so she's from the UK, and
Her daughter lives here.
yeah, it makes a difference. And then we've got a couple of girlfriends from America, actually
Yeah.
more than
Yeah. Oh,
there's quite a few.
they're all coming from around.
So, I mean, the world is not big anymore. It's actually quite small, and more people are travelling.
And coming together. There's a lot
Yeah.
of different nationalities
Yeah.
in our group. It's not just all Australians. There's
Yeah.
people from everywhere, different cultures, different
Yeah.
places.
Yeah.
And that's great too, because you get to
Meet more people.
and
yeah.
learn about their lifestyle and do different things with them. And
Yeah. And I think back home in Australia, I know living on the Gold Coast, it was quite insular. It's hard to meet new people. Whereas in Bali, it's very easy to meet new people.
we're all open to meeting
Yeah.
people and
So we
getting to know getting to know each
because
other.
we're all in the same boat. We're all expats here. Hey, thank you so much, Errie, for
That's
today
all right.
and sharing all this about your experience of living in Bali and your wonderful villas. I just want to say, Errie is such a wonderful example of what it means to keep evolving and creating and thriving at any age. So if you're feeling inspired by her story, reaching out and you would like some help with doing this, whether it being coming to live in Bali or approaching on doing a build here, then Errie is your lady. And yeah, we'd love to hear from you. Okay, bye.